Alright, today we're going to be installing beautiful zebra taillights on this beautiful blue Accord. And it says voiceover because my voice was messed up that time. So yeah, pretty much you could literally do it just by watching what I'm doing. That's how simple I made the video. But first we're removing the V4s that he had. Smoked V4s are being removed. And then we're gonna install zebra taillights for this guy. Some people call it e-tron, but I think it's zebra taillights. Just comment below what you guys think, which name you would prefer. But yep, so what you're gonna need for this is just 8mm socket and a pry tool that could be found on my website. And the taillights you can get it from XGen Auto. Use discount code Boosted Whips. I'll put that link and info in the description below this video. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified of upcoming content. It's very important. Without that, the channel's not going anywhere. So appreciate the support for those who does it, and those who ignore it. You guys just come back to my videos. But it'll be nice to have you guys subscribe. It means a lot to me. So as you can see, removing four right now, 8mm bolts. This 5th and there's a 6th right there in the back. And same thing on the other side. You're gonna see 6 more on that side. So that's one. And then the second one's behind it a little bit, a little deeper. And then 2, the silver ones is holding the tail light in. It's 1, dropped it, but it's right there. 2nd right there. And the 3rd, sorry, it's 4th, 5th and 6th right there at the ends. Just like that. Remove that. Grab a pry tool. There should be a few clips, it'll pop right out. Just like that. Same thing from this side. And there should be plenty of space to remove the stock ones or whatever style you had before. Pop them out just like that. Make sure you guys unplug whatever. There was a stock ones, you don't have to unplug anything besides the main harness, but this one had that aftermarket harness, like the long wire going down to the tail light, so we had to remove that one as well. And then this thing is a very fragile piece. I wish this was done with like a push tabs or at least 2 small screws, to hold this area. And putting them back in is a bit tough unless you got new ones with your kit. It'll be really nice. And make sure you place those 2 screws the way you took them off, meaning top, bottom. You don't want to mess up the threads when you're putting the other one back in. It's like a puzzle piece pretty much. And yep, remove the harness. Stock ones, it'll just be 1 harness, that's it. But just like that. And then this is aftermarket one, so you got the long wire with it, that's got to be removed. Just like that. See, you guys take another look at it. Just use the pry tool, twist it, that's it, pops right out. Pull this piece out. That green clip in the bottom, I did remove it. It was part of the other the aftermarket taillight. You wouldn't need it. And then remove that fragile piece. Remove the get the 8mm socket. To use those 2 screws, and then pop the tail light out just like that. Unplug it, you should be good to go. You can also use a flathead and the edge, so it'll pop out easier. All right, look at these, the new ones finally. check that out. I usually push it through the bottom part instead of removing that small plastic piece on top. This gives it a nicer seal. Just pull it back out until you know, see the back end property just like that. The way it was fitting before. For that rubber piece, just plug that piece in. The clip goes there in the bottom and plug it in. And whenever you put your taillights back on, you make sure the bottom, you don't have that gap, all right? Otherwise it won't line up. So it'll kind of like, there you go. You'll feel it go underneath, and then you push inwards, and those two screws will line up. And I highly recommend you do it by hand first, and then you can torque it a little bit, or just use a drill to push it all the way, or just use it a socket. Do it by hand, hand tight, whatever. It's up to you. If you torque it, just do it really quick and just don't over torque it, or if you're using a drill for the sockets. So I just go push it, see, just do it a little bit. I'm good to go. I'm not like forcing it any further, then I would break those clips on the side. And this piece usually goes in and makes like a click sound. That's how you know it will be in. And it'll feel stiffer too when you try to take it off. But this piece is really hard to put back. So see, that lines up, it goes in, and smack it. Give it a few punches there. There you go. Make sure all the clips goes back in, and then you can put the 6 bolts back on that you took off previously, and plug in the harnesses, and then the reverse light, of course. And then that third plug is going to be for that long wire. It's got to go for the tail lights. This one right here. So it goes in. I usually use 3 zip ties. One in the top, one in the middle, one in the bottom. I don't like using electrical tape. It takes time, and plus, I don't know, it gets sticky over time too. Plus, it's easy to remove whenever you want to swap out something else. All you gotta do is use cutting pliers to get rid of the old ones. You can use up to 4, I think, but I normally use 3. Remove the excessive. And that one, I usually push this behind that push tab area. So as you can see, that wire goes behind that push tab area. It's like a small metal bracket piece there. And that kind of holds it when you're closing your trunk. Open and close this way you're not pulling the excessive out in the open. It stays in the back. It gives it that cleaner look. Make sure that just push that back in. If the green tab came out with it, just push it back in that location. You do the same thing on the driver's side. You want to make sure you push those, you screw those bolts back in. Should be 12 altogether. There's 4 right there. Just like that. 4, 5, 6 in the back. 7. It's 8 in the back. 9, 10, 11, 12. That should do it. And this is how it looks. And of course, this is how you push the push tabs back in. Squeeze that part in and try to line it up. And there you go. That's how easy it is. That's how it looks overall in the back. What do you guys think? Comment below. Oh, that's how it is. It's a clear housing, so it's brighter. But the inside of it is smoked out. Check out those black, not the black, blue light on the way back up in the animation. Looks pretty dope. So let's do a closer animation as well. There's a turn signal left. And then you got the right turn signals. And then you got the hazards. And you got the brake, reverse, and then the brakes as well. A closer look. It won't flicker like that because it's just in the camera, iPhone camera, just doing that for some reason. I don't know. There you go, brakes. Pretty bright. Reverse. Brakes.